Thank you, everybody. Thank you, and welcome to Australia. It's obviously a very exciting weekend for AVR here at our home Grand Prix. And in honor of this, we've decided that Pierre and myself, we're going to be running a special one-time livery for what will hopefully be a very successful weekend for the team. So, well, let's make this little beauty, shall we? Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Aussie Villain Racing. Today it is the Australian Grand Prix round 14 with 3 races to go in the championship season this season, and well, we've got a new livery for the home race in Australia, and well, let me know what you think of it. It is just a one-off. It's not something we'll be seeing moving forward, but just thought, we get out there with our green and gold and really go on with that Australian theme. Now, we do have a little bit to focus on here between races. We will give Gasly every opportunity we can for him to win the Drivers' Championship this season. It's kind of what it's all about at this point, isn't it? Chassis, what do we want to do? You know what? It's probably one of these things where we have enough time between races to just do everything. So let's see what we can do here. Yeah, we're going to get more or less everything done. So rather than chassis team building, we'll do a supplier HQ2, and that'll take us through to the race, which is fine. Now, we do have 13 million in the bank. Again, we know we need at least 10 million for Gasly. I'm confident, I think, aren't we? We're all on the same page that we want to keep Gasly for next season. So we won't be able to upgrade anything in the factory yet. Maybe in the off season. In terms of R&D, now we do have 1 or 2 things that should be on the car ready for this race, or hopefully anyway ready for this race. If we go and have a look at what we can get now, we know that we've maxed out aerodynamics. Chassis, I think we are in the process of getting the last thing here, aren't we, that we maxed out. So that's that done. Powertrain, we've got rotors on board since the last Grand Prix. We're not quite maxed out with the powertrain. What else can we get here? That's on its way, and we can't. The piston rings are locked. That brings us to durability. This is where we have the most we can still do, but to be honest, a lot of it is unknown upgrades that we can't actually get. So we might just be, are we just banking? We're just banking R&D points at this point, it looks like. Hopefully that'll come back and benefit us at some point in the future. In terms of the progress history, you can see we have kind of plateaued a little bit. Mercedes is getting a little bit closer. Ferrari's taking a couple of big steps forward, it looks like. But, well, we haven't taken any further steps. And we're sort of reaching the maximum potential of our car too, to be honest. Now, in terms of the engine, we are relatively good in terms of where we put a lot of new things on for the last race. The gearbox is absolutely fine. This is the gearbox that will now take us through to the end of the season. The corporate side of things, we need to get to acclaim level 25. We're currently at level 22 to get that final sponsorship slot opened. Driver contracts, or 10 million for Gasly. He has 77 focus just now, which, considering where he stands in the Drivers' Championship, and we'll get to that in just a second, you'd expect it to be maybe even slightly higher than that. Finance history, again, we're climbing that mountain to make sure we have the money for Gasly. And if we do look at the standings, Pierre Gasly, after Bottas's DNF in Mexico, Gasly winning the race, he is now only 3 points back. I'm a little bit further back down there in 7th, but I'm not that far behind Hamilton and Ricciardo. It would be nice. I'd be happy with 5th this season if I could overhaul those two. And the constructors, well, we are sitting 2nd in the championship. We are 11 points behind Mercedes. And could it be that we could win the Constructors' Championship this year? The way Gasly's going, you wouldn't back anybody to beat him, but, well, I need to be a little bit more consistent, don't I? Now, you can see there the season results. Now, if we look at trophies, now, historically at Melbourne, I've done okay, haven't I? No, that's not what I wanted to do. We wanted to do just that one. So previously, second last race, Australia, we came 6th last season, and I think we came 6th in season 1. We did. So historically, I've come 6th. If we could do maybe a little bit better than that this season, that would be a wonderful thing. The rivalry with Perez is going very, very nicely. Thank you. And driver details, well, I've now had 2 poles. We've hit the 200-point mark, 2 wins, 4 podiums, an average finishing position of 11th, an average grid starting position of 13th. And we've got 3 fastest laps thrown in there as well. Now, we know there's a little bit of a gap between the 2 races, so let's sim ahead and admire that new Aussie Villain one-off livery. and make sure everything goes through. Hopefully all the R&D stuff's going to come in.
Our new parts have completed without issue.
Excellent. We've got a marketing department issue. What have we got here? Okay, F1 are organising a charity event. They're asking, so a small donation, large, I mean, what's 100 grand between friends? So let's make the last large donation, get the team acclaim. That's a little bit of a no-brainer, really, isn't it? And we continue on here. Sponsorship event is done. And front nose cone structure is good.
Okay, we've had the new parts come through the fabrication process. We'll have them with us.
All right, so everything has come through. 15 million in the bank now, coming into this Australian Grand Prix weekend. So let's take off to Melbourne. So weekend preview, you can see the track map there if you're unfamiliar with it. And let's go and have a look here. We've got, it's going to rain in qualifying. So it's going to start dry, get wet. So Q3 will definitely be wet. Maybe even the end of Q2. And the race, let's say an 81% chance of no rain, because that makes me feel, was it 70? Anyway, you can see there, not much of a chance of rain. It would be 81% chance, wouldn't it, of no rain. So we'll take those odds and hope it's going to be a dry race. And hopefully we're in Q3 to have to worry about the rain in qualifying. But anyway, I'm going to go do some free practice, and I will see you for a partially wet qualifying one. Alright, so we've done free practice. I've got to say the car is looking good. We've both been in the top 10 for all 3 sessions. For the most part, we've been sort of in the top 5 or 6, both of us. So the car is quick. Let's hope we can transfer some practice pace into qualifying pace now. Alright, here we are. We're coming around. This is actually my second run. I had to go in the mediums. You can see we're 16th. They probably could have gone a little bit faster, but it's not worth the risk of missing out, especially when it's supposed to be a wet Q3 anyway, so we'll save tyres most likely in that one. So we've got a Delta on the mediums to chase, and it should, and I do stress should, be a relatively straightforward Q1. So that's Gasly on the front row, or provisional pole, or topping the session, or whatever the term is for this session. It's probably just topping the session, isn't it? You can see we're already half a second up over the medium tyre. In FP3, we were, I'm getting my P's and Q's mixed up, aren't I? We were about 2 seconds faster than the cars you'd expect to be struggling to get out of the session, so I thought we would have no problems getting through. We are better through there this year as well. You'll notice, or you may remember previous years, we've struggled through that particular 2 corners. I always find qualifying at Melbourne really difficult because the sun's in a completely different spot to where it has been for free practice. And so just some of my braking and turning points are sort of in the shadows now. It makes it a little bit more difficult to find them.
We've only got 2 laps of fuel left.
But you can see we're way up on what our previous best was, and that is P11, so it's still not the greatest. So we get through the session in P12. Gasly has topped it. Bottas is second, so the 2 title contenders are right up there. Those crashing out are Mazepin, Schwartzman, Schumacher, Zhou, Latifi, and Lundgaard. So we're through to Q2. We're going to need to be obviously better, but I mean, we're almost 2 seconds off of Gasly. We should be able to get within at least a second of him, surely. All right, so with the potential of rain in this session, we've come straight out. We're not going to muck around. We've got Tsunoda coming out of the pit lane, thankfully. It doesn't get in our way. And we just need to, we just need to get through the session, really, don't we? Just nice, clean lap. Should be enough. A little deep, got excited going into that one. Not too bad, not too bad. Because I have no idea in terms of sector times if we're looking any good or not compared to those that are already ahead of us, or, you know, even just previous sessions. Stroll with a 20.5 in the Alpha Tauri. That's the sort of car we are going to be around. It's not been the greatest lap, has it? Alright, what have we done? What have we done? Can we get into the 20s? We should. 20.7. P5. Alright, so we're going again. We have to repeat while we've strapped on the new tyres. You can see the clouds have come in, which ironically might actually make it a little bit easier for me to see where I'm turning in. So if the rain can hold off for this lap, then it might actually be a big benefit to me. I know it sounds like such a, silly excuse as much as anything, not being able to see because the sun's in shadows, but it really does make a difference, I find anyway. Purple first sector, so that's a good start. A little late there. Going to cost us time all the way down this straight as well. Look at the delta ticking away. Tick, tick, tick away it goes. Purple second sector as well. Not that much up on our previous lap though, surprisingly. Which would suggest that I stuffed up the end of it. And I'm actually down on the previous lap. And what have we done here? Is it enough for the top 10? Oh, just. So we have managed to get through, which is good. Let's look at the gaps. Only half a second between first and 10th. And Gasly's gotten through on the mediums, so that might benefit him in the race. But, well, let's go to Q3. All right, here we go. We've put in enough fuel to do 3 flying laps in a row. As you may notice, it is now wet. So I think we've got Gasly in front of us on track as well. This first lap is going to be a little bit just to see where we are, and then we'll kind of build from there, hopefully. Oh, that's too deep. All right, so you can see 10 seconds left. We're only just going to get across the line in time. And this is going to be our last crack at this. Still have really struggled to get anything resembling a decent lap time down. So the pressure is right on here as qualifying is now over. Last chance saloon. Gently, gently. So far, so good. Don't know if the weather's getting better or worse. It seems like it's roughly the same, to be honest. Decent exit out of there. Yes, for the most part. Now we've got this next little tricky bit here. Is that a purple sector I see? Two seconds up. I don't know, no idea how far we've got to improve to get up the grid. That's wide. Oh no. Gently on the gas. Let's finish this off. Come on. Come on. What have we done? Is it enough? Is it enough? Where are we going to finish here? It is P4! So, we pull it out right at the end there. So, that's the top 2 in the Constructors' Championship, taking the first 4 spots of the grid, the first 2 rows of the grid. McLaren, who of course are the next team behind us, they are 7th and 8th. It's going to be a dry race. Gasly looks like he's in a class of his own. Can I get ahead of Hamilton and or Bottas and make it a great day for ABR?
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Pierre Gasly lines up on pole position and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Oldtimer, Tsunoda, Max Verstappen and Norris, Ricciardo, Perez, Stroll and Charles Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, Russell, Antonio Giovinazzi and Lundgaard, Latifi, Joe, Mick Schumacher and Robert Schwartzman. Sainz, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Ocon, Mazepin and Valtteri Bottas begins the race from the back of the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing. as we head to trackside for today's race.
Whoa, that is huge! Bottas at the back of the grid with penalties. It's huge for the drivers. Gasly with a huge chance now to take the lead, and a big lead in the Drivers' Championship. And for the Constructors, well, it's me and Gasly versus Hamilton at the front. And as far as the Constructors' Championship goes, even if we finish second and third with Hamilton first, Bottas is unlikely to score points. We could very easily be pulling back a big chunk of points on the Mercedes here. Now, there is not too much strategy that we can do because we have to start on the tyres we qualified on, of course. Good to see in real life that's been ditched. So that won't be the case next season. But a little bit foggy, it looks like, in Melbourne. We're not expecting rain. Gasly on the medium tyre to start as well. Let's see what this race brings. Oh, all right, here we go. Look at those two beautiful green and gold cars on the outside of the track there. Gasly on pole, long hold. Let's see what sort of a start we get. We've got a decent one. Gasly's not got a great start on the medium tyres, and Hamilton may get the better of him here. We've got someone on the inside of us. Gasly hangs on to the inside of turn 2, though, and everybody sort of as you were as we go onto the back straight here. Hamilton covering the inside from us. Can we get round the outside? Can we sweep round the outside? Don't hit the back of Gasly. We just might have done that, you know. We're on the inside now for this next corner, and Hamilton slips in.
There's been an incident on track
A wonderful overtake. Very well done, if I don't say so myself.
And there are no plans for a safety car.
There's been an incident on track, as you would expect in those first few corners. No safety car, though, as Gasly drives off into the distance, and it's an Aussie Villain Racing 1-2. Look at that, a beautiful thing. As our special livery for the Australian Grand Prix on full show at the front of the field. Hamilton, though, all over the back of us. Let's see what we can do. Now, this is a bit of a part of the track that we're better at this year, but still, I think, struggle compared to everybody else. But, well, we do have Hamilton all over the back of us, don't we? We don't really feel the need to defend, though, as we come into this. I don't know what turn numbers we're at, but that's okay. Now, Hamilton, has he dropped off a little bit there? Did we maybe just maybe balk him for a run or something? And there's, well, there's just a small train of cars behind me. As still they come. We might be holding up a Haas, I think. But anyway, we finish lap 1, begin lap 2. And Hamilton again is right behind us, but we're quick enough in a straight line that we don't really feel the need to have to defend. Hamilton looks like he got a good run off those first 2 corners. He goes to the outside now. Is he going to try the move we did on him? And, well, only the very best can do that, Lewis. So, no shame in not being able to to overtake me there. So we do hang on. Oh, a little bit of a power slide, it looks like, coming through. I think that's turn 6. And that gets Hamilton swarming all over the back of us again. But, again, we managed to hold out. As Hamilton, again, looks like he's been blocked for a run. Is he holding up cars behind us? He's gone defensive into the chicane there. And I wonder if he's got a little bit of damage. He has dropped way off the back of us and maybe just hurt for a run. But no, surely not. Look how much he's dropped off the back of us through that corner. What happened to Hamilton? So I didn't feel any contact. I don't know if he had contact with Tsunoda or Verstappen, who's in that battle as well. But look at the gap we've got there now. Almost 3 seconds. It is now 3 seconds. And still climbing. Let's see if he comes into the pits. Surely he must. There must be some damage. Is he coming into the pits? Gasly with the fastest lap. Hamilton, yeah, he's in the pit lane. So with Aussie Villain Racing flying out front, formation flying first and second, 4.5 second lead we have over Verstappen in third. We will skip ahead now to lap 6. And you can see Verstappen. That's not Gasly, no. There is a yellow flag. It's not Gasly.
There's an incident in the next part.
You can see there it is Esteban Ocon. So it looks like he's going to retire from this race.
Okay, the incident has been cleared. Let's get back up to racing speed.
Verstappen's out. He must have hit the back of him. Stroll is out as well, and Ricciardo, and the safety car is also out of the race, or is in the race, I should say. We're going to have a look and see exactly what call. Verstappen did run straight into the back of Ocon, then Stroll and Ricciardo plowed into the back of Verstappen, as everybody else. You can see here on board with Stroll. Verstappen did kind of dart out at the last minute, so that's going to be us in the pits. Well, I am not sure if this safety car helps us. Hopefully, Gasly, you've got to stop, man. Gasly hasn't stopped. we could win this race, you know. Everybody else has come in. Unfortunately, the safety car came out just as we passed the pit lane. I'm hoping we're going to come out in front here. It's going to have absolutely screwed up Gasly, though, because he hasn't stopped. It might even be too soon for him, you know, but here we go anyway. So Gasly has thrown away this race, and we will skip ahead now to the safety car restart. Now somehow Ocon has managed to avoid that crash and keep going despite having been run up the back of by Verstappen and very much causing it. So still Aussie Villain Racing first and second. Perez now is in third. Not the greatest run onto the front straight there. Now surely Ocon will have blue flags.
Green flag.
He does. So we get past him, no problems. And on fresher tyres than Gasly, I mean, we might be able to stay with him here, but we don't need to. He's got to stop. He's out of this race. We've got Perez now running down the outside of us. And he has swept around the outside. Can we? No. Oh, he's pulled off the move, has he? We stay on the outside. Can we keep the inside to this corner? He's going to sweep in, is he? Yes, he is. We have to back out of it. And that is us down to third, as we've got now Leclerc all over the back of us. And have we just thrown away a potential win here? I think what's happened is I've been caught out cold tyres after the safety car, and I just really didn't feel like I had the grip in those corners, and obviously Perez did, and he was able to pull off a good move on us. But we've just got to settle down now and try and stay near the back of Perez. We know we're a quick car. We're arguably quicker than the Red Bull, so we just need to stay with him. We've still got 5 laps to go at the end of this one, so just stay with him and wait for our opportunity. He's of course notoriously difficult to overtake though at Albert Park. And there is Gasly after 1 lap coming in for his stop.
Pierre is in for his stop.
What an idiot. Oh, we need to fire that strategist. Why didn't he stop? Anyway, it is now officially a first and second battle. We are still in second. Perez, who looks like he might be driving away from us a little bit, is the race leader. And it's starting to get a little bit more grip. Of course, on the medium tyre there is naturally less grip than on the soft. But yeah, either way, Perez is outside DRS range just now as well. So have we let a victory at home slip because I got caught out after the safety car restart? You can see the gap there. The gap to Perez is about the same as the gap behind to Leclerc. Norris is there as well with Tsunoda. Russell, Lundgaard, Hamilton's back up into the top 8 after his early stop. Of course, the safety car would have helped him massively. Giovinazzi's in the points as well. And we can see Gasly has come out in 16th, ahead of Bottas, but 16th nonetheless. And what's those time gaps look like? He'll do well in 4 laps to get himself back into those points, unless there's anybody else in front of him that's got to stop. But that's well, that's debatable as well, isn't it? See, we've done a purple middle sector. We've used up all our battery at just the wrong point as we get towards the back of Perez. DRS is enabled again now after the safety car. And, well, we're not going to be able to do much this lap, unfortunately. But we are a little bit closer, aren't we? If I can not overdrive the car, which is a big if for me. Just stay calm, don't panic. We have pulled that gap back. It's within the second. We have DRS now. It's just all about making sure we get good exits from corners, don't lose much down the straights, and we'll be in a position at somewhere to get him on the brakes. Gasly looks like he's moved up to 15th now ahead of Mick Schumacher. He's got Schwartzman and Guan Yu Zhou ahead of him, then Mazepin, then Latifi, and then Giovinazzi. I mean, the points might be there. There is a gap between Mazepin and Latifi. Maybe that is going to be the tough one. That might be the bridge that he can't quite manage to get over. But Hamilton has moved himself up into 6th. Now, of course, in the Constructors' Championship, we are behind Mercedes. But this potentially is going to be points back for us. And, of course, imagine if Gasly had stopped under the safety car, even if he's on the hard tyres. You know, he's going to be at least as quick as me, and we are right up behind Perez now. so he would still surely have won this race. Such a shame. Oh, he's in the pits again. Gasly making a second stop. Now, I did actually go back and check what happened. He basically got tangled up with Schwartzman trying to get past him. He got a little bit impatient and, yeah, lost his front wing. So, if there was any doubt that Gasly... Oh, a little bit taily out of on acceleration there. But yeah, if there's any thought he might score points, that's obviously gone now. So you go right up behind Perez. We can get a good exit. It's not really an overtaking spot, but of course after this little zigzag up here, we do have, that's an official word for it, we do have a DRS zone. I kind of back out of it a little bit there. I really am a little bit scared of that corner because it's easy to lose it on the exit of it as well. But if we can get close, we are very quick through the final sector compared to the Red Bull in front.
There's 3 laps of fuel remaining.
And we're coming up with 2 laps to go at the end of this one. And this is our best opportunity. It's as close as we've been. We can get a good run onto the straight here. It's not bad. Are we too far back? DRS has opened. Battery is on.
Come on!
We go up the inside. We're late on the brakes. We run a little bit wide. Can we keep him behind us?
Woo! Oh, don't you dare, Leclerc, you mother...
Leclerc has come from nowhere. He's down the outside of us now. Again, late on the brakes. Again, we go too deep and wide. Leclerc on the outside. Can we push him wide? We can, and we stay in front. We have to look at this again. There we are there up the inside of Perez. I just went a little bit too deep trying to make sure that we got in there first. And then Leclerc out of absolutely nowhere swallows us both up. He's down the outside of us. Again, I go too deep. Managed to just about hold the inside line there, and those curves on the outside there are very unforgiving, and Leclerc has to back out of it, and Norris has now joined the battle for the lead as well as we start the penultimate lap. We have a small gap over Leclerc, but certainly not anything that is decisive, and he's still within DRS range as well. But if we can just keep it calm, keep it cool, we are leading the Australian Grand Prix with a lap and a half to go. Oh, come on. Can we get a good exit out of here? Just have what's after this one, we have 3 DRS zones to go. Leclerc is closing. He's not close enough though. He is very close, but not close enough. Maybe it was not quite the greatest exit there, but we pulled away from Leclerc. Is there a little bit of rain on the track as well? There's maybe a slight rooster's tail or something coming out the back of the car, but we're coming around now to start the final lap.
This is your final lap of the race.
There's the confirmation from Jeff. We've just got to hit braking points, hit turning points. Oh, and I've gone deep and wide, and is this going to give Leclerc a chance? He's pulling out, he's going down the outside. Perez is there as well. We go late on the brakes. We've gone too deep again. We managed to just about keep it on the track. Perez is on our outside. Leclerc is behind us, and we have managed to stay in front. Again, we'll have another look. Again, like an idiot, too deep on the brakes. Perez pounces on Leclerc, but he can't get round the outside of us. And still Lando Norris lurking in the background. And we've got Tsunoda catching up as well. Fantastic scrap for the lead, but there's not really any overtaking places left now unless we make a mistake. We've got a small margin over Perez. We've just got to get a good exit out of here. We've more or less done that. Half a second gap. Can we get through the little zigzag here for the final time without spinning it in a wall somewhere? Maybe a slight cut of the corner, but you know, these things happen at Formula One, don't they, when you're not very good. Can we get our turn in here? Again, we've still got Perez, Leclerc, Norris is there, all within about 2 seconds of each other. We come around into the second last corner. We hit the braking point, we hit the turning point, we accelerate smoothly, we come around onto the last corner, and we have done it!
We did it, Jeff!
You worked hard for that one. Congratulations.
A show-stopping performance from the 3 drivers approaching the podium right now. It's been an interesting Grand Prix, that's for sure.
Yes! Yes! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Ricardo who? Ricardo who? Bow down to me, your new hero of Australian sport. Quick, somebody give me a shoe. Well, what a crazy, crazy race that was. No idea why Gasly didn't stop under the safety car. In the end, what should have been a wonderful day for the team is got the shine taken off a little bit. But what a great race, that last lap. Oh, I got caught on the tyres were a little bit cold after the safety car restart. Perez got me. We you saw what happened. We got him back, and that last, I think subconsciously maybe just taking it a little bit easy. Hamilton ended up recovering. I don't know what happened to him. I certainly didn't feel any contact. I'll have to go back and look at that. Bottas managed to recover himself to 12th, albeit with 2 stops. And Gasly made 2 stops as well. I mean, his fastest lap, he had soft tyres on towards the end there, but his fastest lap was in a different planet to everybody else. But it was only good enough for 17th because he didn't stop under the safety car. Even if you go and put hard tyres on, I don't understand what he was thinking. But nonetheless, he doesn't lose anything. He gets quite lucky, actually, in the Drivers' Championship because he's still only 3 points back. Norris, Verstappen, and myself, 36 points back with 2 races to go, which is 50 points, fastest lap points. Potentially, that's at 52. I'm not. See, the thing is, it's Abu Dhabi for me. I'm no good around there. So I mean, realistically, I'm not in it anyway. It's Gasly, isn't it? But very, very exciting couple of races with 3 drivers within 10 points of each other. 2 races to go. And the constructors, well, there we go. Aussie Villain Racing, top of the championship. 6 points ahead of Mercedes. McLaren would still be in it, wouldn't they, with 2 races to go? Potentially 102 points, wouldn't it be? More, maybe, perhaps. I can't do maths. No, because you could get first and second and five. No, so there's lots of points to play for. But realistically, it's probably between ourselves and Mercedes, unless there's a disastrous race for us in there somewhere. And could we do it? Could we do it? Season 3, it's ranking up to be an absolute belter. So there we go. And of course, Perez is our on-track rival as well. That completely slipped my mind. So we've taken a stranglehold on that. Well, we should be able to win it because I think whoever's on top after the last race of the season will get the trophy or the rivalry anyway. So there we go. Acclaim goes up. Next up, it is the what's it called? Saudi Arabian Grand Prix at Jeddah. Now, obviously, I've never raced there before. We've never seen it on this channel before, and it was a chaotic race in real life. So it might be a sort of track that suits us, sort of faster sweeping corners. Certainly a sort of track that suits me. So we'll wait and see what happens when we get there. That's all for next time, though, guys. If you've enjoyed that, thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. Let me know in the comments, how are these championships going to be decided? And I will see you next time. 2 races to go. Gasly's on for the drivers. We're on for the constructors. I need a lay down. That was huge. Take care.